Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all again virtually. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker, Michael Hepples. We've worked very closely with Michael over the years. He's not only is he very capable and knows what he's doing, he's actually fun to work with too. Blueshift Innovations helps their clients build a modern workforce with business solutions centered around strategy, user experience, and infrastructure management. Blueshift Innovations is a gold Microsoft partner that implements business solutions powered by Microsoft 365, including SharePoint, business apps, process automation, and Microsoft Teams. And we all become very, very familiar with Microsoft Teams and Zoom and chat calls in general over the last year and a half. So, but we don't know everything, and there's lots of pieces that that we're not fully using. So Michael's a great guy to ask some questions about that. So Michael's going to share just how quickly you can put together a fully realized solution with products and services available in Microsoft 365 without writing a single line of code. So Michael, I'm going to step off stage and turn it over to you.
All right. Thanks, Larry. So, answer to the question earlier, yes, I always wave by pretty much the end of every Teams and or Zoom call that I'm on. It's going to get a little bit odd when we're back in physical meeting rooms, and I still want to wave for some reason. So without further ado, again, my name's Michael Hepples. I'm going to start a PowerPoint presentation right now. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to walk through a quick PowerPoint presentation. I'd like to introduce you to myself, to Blueshift, and to the Power Platform. The Power Platform has a lot of potential. It's a very powerful tool that's comes directly from Microsoft. It's available to Microsoft 365 subscribers, but I find that very few people either know that they have the ability to use this or what they could actually do with it. So we'll walk through, review a little bit of PowerPoint. We'll move into a live demo. Live technical demos are always a ton of fun, so let's hope everything moves along nicely. And we'll definitely have some time for questions along the way if anybody wants to interrupt me. If anybody has ever sat through any of my presentations or any of my training sessions or in general, I am always open to interruptions. Contextual information is a wonderful thing, so asking questions as we go along is encouraged. There's also time reserved at the end of the presentation for any other questions or discussion that you feel is relevant. I'm also going to try to focus my eyes on my lower screen here, which is where my actual camera is, because it is always a little odd when I'm looking up at the other monitor. So I'm going to start presenting my screen here, and we'll get rolling. All right. So today's session is titled Power Up with Microsoft 365. Obviously, we're going to begin more than shortly. We're going to begin right away. I have turned on subtitles because I do know that I speak fast. So I've turned on subtitles in PowerPoint. This does tend to track my voice fairly well, but just in case anybody needs some extra help, you have those subtitles there and available to you. Who am I? Who is this guy? This guy that's virtually standing in front of you today. My name is Michael Hepples. I'm the Director of Operations at Blueshift Innovations. We are a Microsoft 365 consultancy. We're based right here in the Exchange District of Winnipeg, right over here on Princess Street. Actually, I already had a comment about how you can tell that we're in the Exchange because the exposed brick behind me. I've included a QR code to my LinkedIn profile. By all means, feel free. Scan that, find me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect. I'm always happy to share there. Who is Blueshift? I can't get through a PowerPoint presentation without a brag slide. So what Blueshift is to piggyback on what Lori said earlier to introduce us, we are Manitoba's only dedicated SharePoint and Microsoft 365 solutions provider. That is exactly what we do, and that's all we do. We specialize in delivering those customized solutions. We work with our clients as a partner to focus on the goals that they're trying to achieve or the problems that they're trying to solve, and really making the various components, the products and services that are available to them in Microsoft 365's ecosystem, to put those together into an innovative solution that they can use to achieve those goals or to solve those problems. Some quick numbers on Blueshift. We've been around for 6 years, 14 team members. It's actually a couple less at the moment. We haven't updated this slide in a little bit, but it's going to be a higher number over the next couple of months. We're hiring. Look for job postings to come out soon. Well over 400 successful projects. And as Lori already mentioned, we are also a Microsoft Gold partner. We hold gold competencies in collaboration and content, which is the key workload around SharePoint and Teams, project and portfolio management, as well as application development. You may see some familiar faces on this particular slide. We've served over 100 clients across that 400 plus projects. And we've had some very, very good clients that we're very, very proud to say that we've worked with and continue to work with. So today, what is the Power Platform? Why do I care? So let's start out with a bit of a story. Let me know if this sounds familiar to you. Once upon a time, there was a small business owner who struggled daily to find the balance between working for the business and working on the business. Every day they spent hours doing the same repetitive tasks and processes in order to keep things running. The business was successful and stable, no real concerns there, but they couldn't really drop that nagging feeling that if they had just a few more hours in the day, it could be even better. Until today. Today, we're going to talk about the Power Platform. We're going to talk briefly about what it is and why you should care. Everything that we're going to talk about today is already included in your Microsoft 365 licensing. It's available to you. You can start using it right now. I prefer if you wait until the end of the presentation so that you're paying attention. But if you're really, really excited and you want to roll out there right now, you go right ahead. And what we're doing today, as we've already discussed, is we're going to put together a very quick solution in a few minutes that you could use in your business today. So the Power Platform is Microsoft's low-code, no-code solution for business applications of business automation. It's comprised of a few different components. You have Microsoft Power Apps. Power Apps, it provides a application interface, a custom interface, where you can build applications that you can leverage within your business. Power Automate provides workflow solutions. It's done in a very drag and drop interface. I don't have to write any code to do so. Power BI provides analytics, and Power Virtual Agents allows you to build out very quickly and very easily virtual chatbots that can be used, leveraged by your business. And again, this is included in your Microsoft 365 licensing. Everything I'm doing today, you already have the licensing to do. So the players in today's solution, we're going to have four parts. First, we're going to start with Microsoft Forms. It works on both desktop and mobile. It's a great option when I need to gather some feedback very quickly and easily. You would have noticed, if you checked in the chat, the Tech Manitoba is using Microsoft Forms for that I want to talk at a tech mashup application process. I'm able to either secure it so that only people in my organization are able to respond, or I can use it externally, which is what we're going to be doing today, so that anybody can submit a response. It's absolutely fantastic if I need to do some public engagement. We're going to be using, Microsoft Power Automate. Power Automate is going to do all the magic work behind the scenes. It's meant to automate business processes. It works on an if this, then that type solution. I can generally say, when this happens, this is what I want to have happen. It's all drag and drop. I don't have to use any code to get things done. I can simply say, this is what I want to do, and then I can simply configure by making a bunch of clicks on the page. SharePoint Online. Big fan of SharePoint Online personally. What it's going to be doing in this solution is it's just going to provide us a place to put our data. And we're going to use Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is pretty ubiquitous at this point. Most of us, if we're not using it, we are very, very familiar with it. We know what it is and what it does. We're using it today for contact and for collaboration, primarily for a way to surface different notifications. All right, showtime. This is when we're going to get into a live technical demo. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to switch over to my other screen. Unfortunately, because I'm no longer in PowerPoint, that's going to mean that the subtitles are going to go away. So I'll try to talk just a little bit slower as we move through this. All right. So starting from office.com, starting from the office start page, we've gone and done a little bit of the quote unquote walk with Jan approach, and I've got a few things prepared here, but we are going to build absolutely everything. The only thing that I have done in advance is I have created the Microsoft team that we're going to use to post to. That way I already have my SharePoint site. So let's get started. We're going to create a new form, and the solution that we're going to build today is a customer feedback. So we're going to pretend that I have a number of salespeople that are servicing my customers. Maybe I have on-site techs that are going out and doing service repairs and installation. And please forgive my typing. It's been a day. What I'm going to be doing, what this solution is going to do is it's going to give us the ability to put that form out there. We can send that as a link to whoever we want to. We've just had a customer come in that's made a purchase and we want to find out how we did. This is, for most businesses, this is something that they're making a phone call or sending an email or they're asking at the time of purchase. And this is just a way that we can reach out again afterwards. And then we're going to add a little bit of automation on there just to make it a little bit easier. All right. So with Microsoft Forms, it's going to provide us, because I use the term customer feedback, it's going to give me a bunch of suggestions, but we're not going to worry about those today. What we're going to do is we are just going to get started with who provided you service today. And option 1 is going to be Michael Hepples. And option 2 is going to be Josh Lugazar. You might find him floating around in the chat there. He's a member of our team, Client Experience Manager. Real good guy to talk to if you, for whatever reason, can't get a hold of me. So we're going to first ask who provided service. Then what we're going to do is we're going to ask for a rating. How would you rate your service today? And what we're going to do is we're going to ask them for a rating out of 5 stars. We're going to require that they provide an answer. We should probably require that they tell us who provided them service. And we're also going to any additional comments, because we always like to get the additional comments. We're going to make that a long answer. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time making things pretty today. What we're going to do is we're just going to quickly preview that. This is what it's going to look like for our customers who are visiting it in a web browser. This is what it's going to look like for them on mobile. Remember, this is nice and natively responsive, so it's always ready to go. We're just going to quickly go into the settings here, and I'm going to allow anybody to respond. I'm going to hit share, and I'm going to grab that. We'll deal with that later. Now, I've already created my form. What we're going to do is we're going to go create a list, because we have to put that somewhere. So we're going to move over into SharePoint. We're going to create a list. You just use a blank list. Customer feedback responses. Let's create that. And again, you don't necessarily have to create this within a Teams connected site. You can put this in any SharePoint site. You can even just go directly into Microsoft Lists, which is going and creating those lists, and you can use that. For today's demo, we're just going to do this, and we're just going to get that done. So this is going to be name of salesperson, because that's what we'll run with here. Okay, name of salesperson. Let's go with the rating. And part of the reason why you don't have to use SharePoint, you don't have to use a list to put this in, but it does allow the information to be surfaced a lot better. One of the things that we find that a lot of clients end up running into is you have someone who has come to the organization, they've created a number of Microsoft forms that are being used by the business. But unfortunately, that data is all sitting in that Microsoft form. That person has now gone on vacation. That person has left the organization. And unfortunately, now all of those forms and all of that data, if they didn't share it with somebody else, that's all orphaned. Nobody can get at that. And there's currently no way to administratively transfer that ownership over to somebody else. So it's always a real good rule of thumb. If you can, put that information somewhere else, pipe that information from that form into another source. I prefer SharePoint because then I can easily add people to our team, and they'll have the ability to see that information. Now we're going to create a flow. So we've got our Microsoft form, which is going to allow people to provide their responses. We have our SharePoint list, which is where data can go sit. And now I'm going to create a flow. So what we'll do is we're going to do an automated cloud flow. We're going to call this one customer feedback. And we're going to do it when a new response is submitted. So we're going to create that. It's going to sign in. It's going to create that connection. And now I'm going to pick a form. Customer feedback is the only one we have. We're going to do a new step. And we are going to grab those response details. Okay. And we're going to grab customer feedback, and the response is the response. As you can see, it's going to prompt me through setting those things up. One of the things I am going to do, just because I like to do it, is I'm going to create a variable, and I'm going to call it a rating. This is me personally. This is what I like to do. You do not have to do it, but it is what I like to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to get those response details. And one of the first things we're going to do is, actually, we're going to now, because I chose to use a variable, I'm going to set that variable. And the reason why I'm using a variable is just because it gives me a chance to put some stuff that I can use later in a number of things into one neat little spot. So we're going to grab our rating, and we're just going to make sure that that's formatted as a number, and then I can use that in a number of different spots. So now I've got my response details when a response comes in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create an item in SharePoint. So let's create that item. It's going to sign me in. Again, a lot of this signing in is happening because this is the very first time that we're building this solution. This is a demonstration environment. It's being used specifically for today. So we're going to grab our site, Tech Manitoba Mashup Demo. We're going to grab our customer feedback responses list, and then it's going to go check, and it's going to say, hey, this is what's going on. We will grab the responder's email for the title. We're going to grab the name of the salesperson, which is who provided you service. Our rating is going to be, in this case, I can use how would you rate your service today? Or what I can do is I can also use my variable. How would I rate my service today? And did they give us any comments, right? Any additional comments, because I want to capture that. Now, what we're going to do, hey, great, I've taken all of my information out of a Microsoft form, and I've gone and put it into SharePoint so it's available to everybody. But the real power of using Power Automate, the real power of using Microsoft Power Platform is I can do a number of things. I can extend this out. So maybe what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to say, if that rating is greater than or equal to 3. So if they gave us 3 stars or more, I want to go into Teams, and what I want to do is I want to post a message in a chatter channel. It's signing into Teams. So we're going to post as the Flowbot. We're going to post that in a channel. So because this is positive, right? We want to make sure that when we have a customer who says great things about one of our salespeople, we want to make sure that it's in there. Okay, so a new positive response has been, again, I can just write this out exactly how I want to do it. Typos and all has been received for, and we want the name of the salesperson. The customer rated us, them, whatever their rating was, stars, and had following things to say. And let's grab let's grab whatever comments they've included. But maybe it's negative. So maybe what I want to be able to do is I want to, if this is the case, hey, we're a small organization. What I'm going to want, no, instead of a channel, I'm going to do this from the Flowbot. It's just going to give me a little private chat because I want to be able to follow up with my salesperson immediately, but I want to be able to do it privately. Okay, our new feedback has been received. Sorry, I talk to myself when I type. And remember, because we've said this is for anybody who is not greater than 3, if they only gave us 1 or 2 stars, that's when we're going to go with that negative or that negative path. Okay, and then we're going to add the comments. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to save that. Now, some fun stuff. Anybody who wants to is more than welcome to go scan that and go to town, submit whatever responses you want to, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to leave that up for just a second while I take a sip of water because I've now been talking. And in about a minute, what I'll do is I'll switch back over and I'll submit a response and we'll see how that works in real time. All right, I'm going to switch back. And so we're going to say that Michael provided this. Thank you so much for fantastic. And now what we're going to do is we're going to submit that. And as you can see, right immediately, I've got a post in general. We have a new positive response that's been received. Customer rated them 5 stars, had the following things to say. Thanks for showing us how lists work. Good job. So, oh, is this recorded? Somebody has actually said on there. So as you can see, as everybody who is on this call or on this webinar, call, presentation, whatever we're going to call it, people have the ability to provide that input already right now. You don't have to log in. You're able to just go to that form. Your customers could be doing this right now. Over here in chat, looks like we've got a new feedback for Josh. Josh didn't do very well. And he only had a rating of 2 stars. Customer wasn't feeling very good today, didn't provide any real feedback, but I'm going to make sure that I follow up with this customer and this salesperson ASAP. And at that point, I can start using other aspects of Teams or other aspects of Microsoft 365 to help leverage that. Right now, we've just got an intake path, right? With a little bit of fun stuff. You can definitely extend this further. You can do more things with this. If you've got a larger organization, maybe what I want to do is I want to find out who Josh's manager is. And I want to escalate that directly to the manager because it's not just one single point. Maybe I want to provide that feedback directly to Josh and ask him to follow up with it. Maybe I want to tweet out whatever those comments were for anybody who rated it 5 stars, and I want to post that automatically into my social media to provide that testimonial out, maybe with an approval, just in case. But what I want to do is I want to say, hey, anything with 5 stars, I want to be able to run an approval and automatically post that testimonial onto my Twitter feed so that everybody that follows me on Twitter has the ability to find it, has instant feedback to say, hey, this person had a great experience with Michael. Okay. I'm going to now flip over to the slideshow and apparently go to a specific slide. Here we go. So what else could we build? That's the end of the technical demo. What else could we build with the Power Platform? Well, The short answer, the Microsoft consultant answer, is anything you want. There's hundreds of different connectors. There's thousands of templates that are available. So you don't even need to know how to build some of this stuff. And you could get started right away simply by using some of the templates that are available within Power Automate. So what could you build? What are some things that we've built for other clients? What are some of the things that I use myself? We can automate the hiring intake by automatically creating a profile. So when somebody emails their resume to me, it's automatically going to go create them an entry in a SharePoint list, so I know who they are, what their contact details are, and what role they applied for, and it's going to attach their resume. And it's going to send them a quick auto reply to say, hey, I got your, you didn't send it off into the black hole of the applicant tracking system. I did get it. We do have it, and we'll follow up. I can log tweets with a specific keyword into an Excel spreadsheet. I have a fantastic person that we leverage for our marketing, so I don't have to do this. But if I don't have somebody for marketing, what I can do is I can say, hey, any tweet that has the word Blueshift in it, I want those logged into an Excel spreadsheet so that I can monitor those and respond. Maybe I want to send automated reminders for service renewals. There's a contract that's expiring. Somebody's buying products that might expire after 3 months, and I want to be able to send that customer a quick reminder to say, it's coming up. You purchased a thing from me 3 months ago, and it's about time for you to refill. Or I can just do some of the touchy-feely, warm and fuzzy stuff, sending an email to staff or to special customers on their birthday. I can make sure that Josh, as long as he's willing to share his birthday with me, gets an email from me on his birthday, because it's going to send from my account. It's going to send using my credentials. He gets an email from me on his birthday, and I don't have to remember to do anything. Long and short, this is a very quick introduction to the Power Platform. As I said, there is a lot to learn. There is a lot going on with the Power Platform. There's a huge amount of potential. What we've really looked at today is a couple of aspects of it. There's a lot of work that can be done and a lot of potential and value that can be had out of Power Apps, Power Virtual Agents. I'm a huge fan of Power BI for reporting and analysis. If you still have any questions, you need a hand with some of this stuff, or you just want to geek out about the Power Platform, it's real easy to get me started. Come find me on LinkedIn. Send me an email at my michael@blueshiftco.com email address. We've put it back up on the screen here so that you have that. You can even find me in Teams. If your organization is using Teams and has allowed you to chat with external people, I've set our Teams to allow chat with external people. You can go fire me a message in Teams and we can start that conversation right away. Huge fan of the Power Platform, huge fan of Microsoft 365 in general. Feel free to please reach out, find me, start a conversation.
That was awesome, Michael. Thank you. There are some questions actually that have come in, and I think Perfect. Your team has been great in terms of offering some responses, but maybe you can speak to this a little bit more in depth. Can you create these flows under generic systems accounts? As I understand it today, these flows are tied to the account that created it, and if that employee leaves the company, that flow goes away.
Okay, so that's a really good question. Yes, you can. You can create it under an account, but that account is going to need to be licensed. So there is a license that's going to need to be consumed one way or the other, whether your end users are going to use it or if you want to use a system account. Now, the philosophy behind the Microsoft Power Platform is that Bob in accounting is able to do this. Bob in accounting is able to say, I am doing the same thing every single day. I need to fix that. I need to save myself some time. That's why it, by default, runs under those user accounts, why that needs to be saved. If you do have flows that have been Bob just left, Bob went to another company, and now no one has access to any of those flows, there are administrative capabilities to be able to reassign those, to be able to inventory the flows that you have. This is something that I do for a number of clients because they got started with the Power Platform, they got started with Power Automate and have this problem. You have the administrative overrides to be able to say, look, Bob left, but I need Lori to have the access to this. So to be able to do some of that fun stuff.
Okay, awesome. What analytics does this program provide?
So the the solution that we built today using Power Automate, some of the analytics that this is going to provide is it's going to show you what happened with those runs. And with having that data sitting out there in SharePoint, I can see that. I can export that into Excel. I can create a quick visual if my tenant supports it and my administrators turn it on. I can create a visualization of that data in Power BI with a couple of clicks. It's a native integration. It's out of the box functionality in SharePoint Online. I can create a Power BI report within a couple of clicks that's going to give me a nice aggregate and say, you know what, Michael is overwhelmingly gets positive ratings. Josh has some room for improvement. Yes, I'm picking on Josh today, but I'm sure he'll follow up with me afterwards. But you can do that. Or again, if Power BI is a little too intimidating, I can always just go and export it into good old Excel and do whatever analysis I want to do on that. Oh, I think Lori might have frozen. Just taking a quick look at the Q&A there. Are the forms password free? Yes, you can make them password free. As you've seen, you were able to, everybody was able to respond to them without having to log in. Yes, you could do this you could use this to do a survey. People do, or organizations use forms to do a survey quite frequently. I don't know if the presentation is recorded for viewing later. I would have to defer to Tech Manitoba on that one. And could you aggregate which salespeople receive the top responses? I think we've kind of covered that a little bit with the analytics. I can totally do whatever reporting and analytics I would like to do. Again, I can feed that into Power BI with a number of other data sources. I can do a quick visualization right there in the list, or I could export this into Excel and do whatever I need to do with that data.
Okay, awesome. By the way, Josh is an awesome guy, and I'm sure he's actually, in reality, getting 5-star reviews, just so everybody knows, and Josh is not feeling picked on. Yes, by the way, we do have, oh, we got one more question before I go into this, but we are recording, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Michael, but you know, we would only edit pieces of it with your permission in terms of posting that and sharing it. So
no, by all means, go ahead.
Okay, so then the answer is yes, that you will find it in a little while up on our YouTube channel for those who missed it or those who want to share it. Chris Friesen has another name. Can you pull in variable from a SQLDB, e.g. high name? Well,
yes.
I don't know, Michael. I don't know what that means.
So the short answer is yes. You can pull in. I did mention there's about 100. There's hundreds of different connectors. I think it's close to about 600 at this point. There's hundreds of different connectors that you can use with Power Automate. You can. A couple of the quick things. So if you are looking at a general rule of thumb, what we covered today is within the Microsoft 365 perimeter. That's what's included with your standard licensing. So if my data or the information that I'm trying to touch is within Microsoft 365, then I have the ability to pull that in under the included licensing for the Power Platform. If I wanted to go look at a SQL database, I totally can. I can pull in that variable or pull in that information or read or write whatever I want to, but it is going to require escalated licensing. I'm going to have to pay a little bit more for additional licensing in order to be able to do that.
Okay, awesome. We want to make sure give people time to do some networking at the end of this, so we'll just quickly answer Hernan's question. Is Power Automate included in every version of Microsoft 365?
In 90% of them. So there are a couple of Microsoft 365 licenses that don't include the Power Platform. Those are primarily the ones that are meant for for frontline workers that may be a shared account. There's an education, Microsoft 365 education SKU that doesn't include it, but the vast majority of Microsoft 365 licenses do include Power Automate rights, Power Platform rights, and the ones that most people would use, the Microsoft 365 Business Premium, E3, Business Basic, what most organizations, what most even small businesses are using. It's what I use for us internally. It's what I use for a couple of not-for-profits that I'm involved with. it's already included.
Awesome. So virtual applause for Michael. Thank you. We, just so everybody knows, we do plan to continue online through to the end of the year. And let's hope that all things go well and that we're back to sandwiches and chips and meeting in person over the lunch hour in the new year. Anyways, thank you for coming. Thank you so much, Michael, and have an awesome day and a great week. Thanks for coming.